Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Behind the Reel. We've got episode 41 tonight here. We've got Andy Moore joining us to talk about his big win with the All American Kayak Series down on Lake Palestine. Palestine, I don't know. We'll figure out here in a minute how to say it. I've heard it both ways. Definitely check out the All American Kayak Series if you haven't already. They got a pretty cool thing going on this year for you guys that are fishing in the Midwest and want a shot at a little bit bigger prize pool, and definitely an opportunity to go fish some of the bigger lakes, some of the destination lakes in the region. So I know I'm definitely going to be joining those guys when they come to Kansas. Wilson out at Wilson Lake. I'm really looking forward to that one, and definitely think you guys should join us as well. Going to be a lot of good fish caught out of that lake. I did fish that one last year. I think Chad Davison won that one. So if you know him, ask him about it. I'm sure he'd recommend it. But for those of you that are joining us for the first time, definitely consider giving us a subscribe, following us for future content. We've 40 other podcasts that you may enjoy based around bass fishing in general, a lot of kayak content, but we do have some bass boat stuff, some swim bait stuff. So, we'll jump all around. If I see a cool story, I'll invite them on the show and just see where it goes. But tonight we're going to have Andy on, and if you guys have anything that you want to ask, if you have any specific questions or you want to kind of steer the conversation in a certain way, make sure you go ahead and post over in the live comment feed over there, and we'll be able to pay attention to those comments and get to your questions just as quick as we can. So I'm going to go ahead and bring them on here, trying out a new camera angle, but it was kind of a last minute deal, so I may end up switching it up mid-show. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and bring them on, and we'll just get right to it. Make sure you guys are over there in the comment section. What's up, Andy?
What's up, man? Long time no see. I think the last time I saw you, I was teaching you all my secret skateboard tricks. My kick flip indo and that triple backflip off that ramp at that was Cherryville Park, man. I think that park was built probably by a meth head or something, man. That was a crazy park, but man, no, good to see you, man. But no, we roll into that town, and my neighborhood has neighborhood watch signs, and you roll into that town, it says meth watch, and my friend Tom and I were like, oh, there's one. It's it was crazy, man. No good seeing you. No, I don't skateboard, but I hear you are the Tony Hawk of Kansas. So hats off, brother.
Not at all, but just trying to stay young and fresh.
Hey, man, don't hurt yourself, man.
Yeah, I'm trying not to. I'm not as limber as I once was, for sure.
It happens. You're still young, man. Wait till you're my age. It really sucks.
What's your secret? Active? Is that the secret?
What's my secret?
Yeah.
Secret to staying what? I mean, honestly, I don't know.
Healthy,
I mean, secret. I guess my secret is like good vibes, being nice, and getting good sleep and eating good. And I've had to really kind of revamp my MO, because for a while there I was eating a lot of Taco Bell and Burger King and not paying attention. As you get older, man, that stuff really affects you. So I mean, I start lifting weights, the kayaking. I was a boat guy I was a boat guy my whole life up until 7 years ago, and I started doing this. I had to get a knee replacement, but the kayaking, I tell you what, the paddle kayaks got me in shape, man. My core was ripped, and I was ripped. And then as soon as I started doing the Hobie, it's I look like a soccer player. My calves are ripped, but my upper body got just soft again. So I got to make up for that. I got a total gym, I do that. That's good enough for me. I'm all about staying toned. I don't want to get ripped, because then you can't you wouldn't be able to cast, those big guys that lift the weights, that I mean, how can you even move? You know, I don't even know how those guys walk sometimes, but no, man, no secret. I just live life. I don't, you know, I'm sure. I mean, honestly, my body, my mind is great, but my body literally is like a 70-year-old body, but my mind is like as sharp as a tack. So, I mean, that helps me fishing, but I mean, like after these tournaments, man, I like literally feel like I'm going to die. I mean, I just had a shoulder surgery in December, and I told my surgeon I had the ice fish. So I was on the ice 2 weeks after. I mean, I didn't care. I mean, I had spikes on. I wasn't going to slip, but I told my surgeon I have a big tournament in February. How can we make this happen? He goes, it's going to be close, man. But I tell you what, I hit the therapy hard. I mean, no pain, no gain. And I like in like 2 weeks, I was like 4 weeks ahead. So I knew I could fish it. It kind of hurt a little bit, unload and loading the kayak, you know, that just because I don't have a trailer, I still put it in the back of my truck, and that hurt. But, you know, I mean, honestly, what really kills me is frog fishing and like setting the hook. So it's a little early for frog fishing, but I'm sure by frog season and buzzbait season, I'll be ready to rock. But I'm about 80% right now physically, but I'll get there. Yeah, man.
I like the good vibes. I think that probably goes a lot further than people think.
Oh, dude, totally.
Like half of our, I don't know, health is probably mental, you know. But
yeah, yep, 100%.
You know, that is something. I mean, let's talk about it. You know, that is something that it's like a reoccurring theme, and it's certainly not, you know, it's not something that only anglers have to deal with. It's just social media, I think, in general. You know, you get that many people together, and you almost get, you know, you get one person complaining, and you almost get a melody, you know, when it comes to, you know, oh well, yeah, I don't like that either. But you know, you start to see stuff like that, and it's hard to ignore. And even if you're trying to keep a good attitude, it kind of gives you a bad impression of those people that are, you know, so it's like, even if you're trying to keep the good vibes, like they're bringing you down, whether you realize it or not.
Dude, the internet has ruined us. I hate to say that. I mean, it's not, I mean, you have the platform to do it, but I tell you, I mean, I grew up in the 70s, you know, I've seen it all. I mean, we just went out in the woods and played all day. You know, we didn't have, so I didn't have I had a pager when I was like your age. How old you say you were?
32.
Yeah, I was like 26. I had a pager, you know, and I'm doing these jobs, and the pager would go off. You think you're real cool, like a doctor. You're in a house, you know, you're like, oh, I got to go make a phone call, you know. And then I had a phone in my truck, like actual like phone plugged in with an antenna in my truck. You know, you like hung it up, you know, you're real cool driving with a phone, actual with a cord hanging out of your truck, you know. And then I got my first flip phone, and you know, then it's on, and then the internet and social media. Man, my first social media experience was a nightmare. I got this monster crappie. I caught like a 19-inch crappie. I released it, you know, ooh, cool, you know. But then like the World Herald wanted to do a story on me, and I'm like, oh, cool, you know, whatever. And all of a sudden they put it on the internet, and I had people ripping me all over the country. Like people from Alabama would go, I would release that into a frying pan, you know. And I'm like, they're like Photoshop, you know, flash burn and all this, and they're just ripping me, man. And I took it personally. I was like almost ready to throw up. I had so much anxiety. What's going on? And someone like, hey, calm down, Andy. They're trolls. I'm like, what's a troll? You know, it's just like, and I tell you what, the internet has ruined us. These kids these days, it's instant gratification. They need it now. They don't work. They just sit on their ass and watch TV, and, you know, go out and play, do something constructive, you know. But I mean, some kids still do. I mean, my kids did. I made them go. I mean, I took them fishing and hunting, you know. But it's like kids these days, man. They just, you know, and that's good that you're doing stuff like this. Maybe get them interested in fishing, you know, and getting outside, like just collecting rocks and sticks and just getting outside, man. Get away from the internet.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So I don't know what it is, but I don't know what it is about. I don't know. Maybe it is. It's just that mob mentality or whatever it is. But I think more things, like I don't want to waste my time said about something. You know, I'd rather focus on all the positive things happening in the world.
You have to.
You know, like this. You know, you've got a really great group of people up there.
Yeah, we do. We really do.
you're a breeding ground for hammers. Like, I don't know what it is, but there's
it's all Marty Hughes' fault. I mean, really, he started all this. I don't know what the hell he was thinking, but I don't think he thought it would turn into this. But no, I mean, dude, we have like 3 clubs. We have like, it used to just be like the, one, and then all of a sudden, hey, let's just do the sticks. And then we have Central States, and now we have a Nebraska kayak. But it's like my business in Omaha. There's plenty of room for every painter in Omaha. I mean, it doesn't matter. You get it, there's plenty of room, and all these clubs offer a different experience for everybody. Central States Kayak Series, they got the online thing. I don't like online things. It takes up way too much of my time because I'm so competitive. And I don't know. There's another club. I don't know where they're from, but they're smaller, but more bringing in novices. Us sticks. People. It seems like people are intimidated, but you're welcome. All levels of fishing. We teach you. I mean, it doesn't. Find the platform you like and join it, and you'll find the right group. They're all good people. They're all good groups, and some of us fish them all. Yep. I mean, I don't, but I just don't have enough time to do it all, man. But no, good people here, and it's just, I mean, the kayaking has just exploded here. It's crazy. It is crazy what is happening in the kayak world.
What do you think, like, the conditions that you face on a regular basis in Nebraska? How do you think growing up, or did you grow up in Nebraska? I guess I better.
Oh yeah, my whole life, born and raised in Elkhorn.
So like, how did that help you win a tournament in Texas, right?
Oh, probably. I mean, it all probably started when I was a baby. My mom, like I said, I was born in 1970, and Fisher Price had this. I think it was like a crib side aquarium, like an actual aquarium with fish in it that like hung on your crib. Okay. So like I'm nice. Like a baby. I'm a newborn, and my mom's got this thing, and I don't know what's going on. So I'm like just staring at these fish probably all day, and so I think at that point in time I was just meant to be a fish. I don't know. I mean, ever since I was a kid, I would look in a puddle and ask my dad, "Is there a fish in there?" And I'd fish it. I'd literally want to take my pole and cast in a rain puddle because I thought there'd be a fish in there. I've been fascinated by fish my entire life. So I think what's a couple of things have prepared me for tournament fishing. I'm as competitive as they'll come. I'm a fierce competitor. It doesn't matter if I'm playing in pickleball, tiddlywinks, or a trivia. I gotta win. I mean, it's gotten a lot easier fishing these kayak tournaments losing because you don't win them all, and you become very humbled, and you learn how to lose good. And honestly, you learn so much more when you lose than you do when you win. So embrace the suck when you lose and learn from it. That would be my best advice to new people. Don't get frustrated. You're not going to win every time. I mean, it's so hard to stay consistent fishing, man, because everything changed. Every day is different on the water, and you really got to be on your game, man. I mean, like 100% on your game. But I grew up, so we had a little duck pond in my neighborhood, so I was walking down there riding my bike when I was 3 or 4. I was the youngest of 3 kids, so you have your first kid, it's just like, oh, you okay? Everything's all right. You got your second kid, and it's just like, oh, you're okay. And then your third kid, you don't even know where they are. I mean, literally, dude, I was like driving snowmobiles when I was 5 years old, crashing into bushes, they're taking little motorbikes and taking off. Nobody cared. Nobody knew where I was. So I would just go down the duck pond with my friends, and we'd steal bacon and corn out of the whatever we could grab. We had our little Zepcos. I think I had a Zepco Country Mile. I was a cool kid on the block, dude. I could launch that thing a country mile, but the fish weren't out in the middle of the lake. You learn that, but as a kid, you're cool. Who can ever cast the furthest is the coolest. But it was just full of carp and bullhead, but we didn't care. Fish was a fish growing up, and I tell you what, catching carp, that was the biggest rush, because we'd go out there and we'd catch the bullhead on the bacon, and all the bullhead would be small. And all of a sudden you caught we didn't care. It was a carp. It was a freaking monster of the lake, and we were so proud one day we caught it, and it was probably like a 10-pound carp. And I took it home, and my dad's like, "What the hell are you doing? Are you going to eat that?" And I'm like, "No." And my dad literally made me clean that carp and attempted to make me eat it. And I was bawling and crying, and the blood. And honestly, that was probably my first experience that I was a catch and release fisherman. because every time I caught a fish, I threw it back because I didn't want to clean this thing and eat it. That's not what I fished for. I fished for that rush. Even at 5 years old, it was just that rush, that, I don't know, just that trigger, just like that hit, just in the carp, man. That carp just fought, just never gave up, fight. But so dude, I honestly never saw myself being a competitive fisherman. I always, you always compete with your friends and stuff, but that's just fun and games. I never thought I'd be doing it like for money and stuff, but my whole life has prepared me for it, dude. I'm wired to fish, and just being competitive, the two merged, and it was a perfect combo and a perfect outlet for me to compete, and to take care of that competitive outlet I have.
Hell yeah. Yeah, no, that's good stuff, man. Yeah, I talked to a lot of guys, and a lot of them have similar stories where, they're fishing, from the time they were very young. I really wasn't. I've got maybe a handful of fishing memories, my whole childhood. So,
dude, I got millions. We could talk all night, but honestly, this is way past my bedtime. When you're like, we're having Andy on at 9 o'clock, I'm like, dude, I'm like in bed by 9. I got to get ready for daylight savings time. It's coming up, so I'm already prepping. I'm going to bed at 9 because really it's going to be 10. Spring forward? Yeah, so I gotta. It really f's me up bad, but I'm going to bed at like 9 now and getting up at like 6 because it's going to be 10 and 7 next week. I'm getting prepared. That's another thing when you get old, man. Sleep is so important. Yeah, you can't. I used to pull all-nighters and catfish and drink Pepsi all night and be able to just rock the next day, but. Dude, if I stay up all night fishing, I'm like, I can't do anything for like 3 days. And literally it just kills me and I'm not the same all week, So sleep is huge.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you, staying awake and hanging out with us for a little bit.
It's all good, man. I drank an iced tea, so now I'm gonna be up all night, but it's all good. I'm gonna start prepping for Kentucky Lake. I got to. No, it's weird because I just like, here we are. It's next week already. I don't even know what. I haven't even looked at the lake. It's so massive. It was like, what am I gonna do? I don't know. I'm just gonna find some. I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do, man. I tried to get some intel out of my friends, but Kevin Workman is he's a man of few words, and my friend Kyle Brandicky looked at me. He's like, oh yeah, go flip the bop and the doopy doo, it's like, what? Really, dude? Come on, man. You help me out. No, I don't. Honestly, I don't really ask around for info. I try to figure out myself. And honestly, that makes you a better fisherman when you rely on yourself. For years I wouldn't rely on other people, but I would gather all the info I could. And if I had a friend doing good, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna come with you. Like, sure. They'll totally have me. And then like at 12 Mile. When I won that in MKFS, I had friends. Hey, here's the spot you're going. I'm like, cool. So I just tagged along, and if someone puts me on fish, dude, I'm gonna freaking catch the fish, And I won that tournament. What did I learn? Nothing. I didn't. You look at that lake. There are the spots. There's some humps and stuff. It was July, weed lines. I knew to hit that, but this spot was like freaking magical. It was. I had my best card ever in a tournament. I think I had like 93 inches there, and but no, anymore, dude. I don't. I totally just do it myself. I figure things out myself, and it makes you a better fisherman. And that's, I'll answer your questions. I'll help you, but I'm not going to enable you 100% where you're not getting better. I'll help you, but I'm not gonna give it all to you. You can't. You gotta let people struggle a little bit, figure out themselves. That's the only way you get better in life. You can't have everything handed to you. You're just it doesn't work that way.
Yeah. And I think that's kind of the cool thing about fishing. I kind of relate it to sporting, cause I did grow up doing that, just the individuality, and that everybody has their own style. Right. And, we might both do a kickflip, but they can look totally different.
Totally different, right?
And you and I you love to flip, but we might have very different approaches or different baits or use different line or, you know what I mean? Like, or drop shot or whatever it is.
No, I mean, it's hard for me to flip in a kayak. I mean, if I stand up, I can, no problem, but I don't, I mean, and drop shotting, man, that, I tell you what, I mastered that technique probably in 2017, and I won the MKFS at Wanahoo in 2017 exclusively on a drop shot. Because the year before I was in the TOC at Texas Lake Fork, and my friends I was with were doing really good on a drop shot. I mean, they're catching a lot of drop shot, and I'm like, what the hell is this thing? So I tried it. I hated it. I didn't have patience enough for it. I wanted to do my thing. And honestly, that was the TOC was in November. So literally that spring, as soon as ice out, that's all I did. I drop shotted probably for 3 months. I figured it out. I knew what to do, like the right rod, the right line, the right weight. I mean, you change your weight for different situations, but my line stays constant. My hooks, the size of my hook changed a little bit, but I tell you what, man, it's not easy, and you really have to pay attention to what you're hitting on the bottom. Your line has to stay tight. I mean, the rod, it's not easy. It looks really easy, but it's not. And I spent like 4 months like only drop shotting, and I applied that to that tournament, man. And it's funny how that tournament was, because I was just throwing a jig on the rocks, and I looked at my sonar, and there's this big group of fish, and you could see their marks shooting up, and I just grabbed my drop shot, and I literally flipped it over my shoulder, and I just started doing bam, 18-incher. I'm like, whoa. So I turned my kayak around, and I parked on the spot. I sat there for 6 hours, and I killed it, and I had Marty come up, and he was like, dude, and I showed him what I was doing. He couldn't catch anything. I'm just still catching them. I mean, I don't know what was going on. It was the stars were aligned, dude. It was just a magic. I mean, we've all had those days on the water where it's just magical, and you can't do anything wrong, and everything's going your way. And it's just like, this is just insane. This is not happening. And, they're few and far between, but I mean, I do have those days often. And that was one of those days, man. And that drop shot, like I said, I sat in like a 10-foot by 10-foot spot for 6 hours. I had like an audience of boats and kayaks like clapping for me. It was insane. I mean, I was losing like 18 or 19 inchers, and I'm just laughing. It didn't matter. I knew I won. Like, I just had the weirdest feeling. Like the game warden came up. He knows my family. We know him. He's hunted with my dad and Officer Lubin. And we were talking. I was like, hey, you remember me? My dad? And he's like, oh yeah, I know your dad, Jim Moore, all that, and I just had like a calming feeling, all of a sudden this freaking monarch butterfly just fluts around my head and like lands on the bow of my kayak. I'm like, I won. I knew right then. I was so calm and won, and sure enough, I did, but no, the drop shot, man, that's not easy, man, but I mean, it's fun to learn new techniques. It just makes you a better angler if you know them all.
Oh yeah, definitely. I've been looking over this comment here, but Casual Bass Guy, shout out to him. He's a local kayak fisherman. We kind of converted him over from a float tube. Now he's a full-blown kayak guy, and he wants to know, where does the Palestine tournament rank in terms of shittiest conditions you've had to tournament fish in?
Probably not even in my top 10, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I would say the most brutal tournament I fished in was an ice fishing tournament in Gull Lake, Minnesota. The actual temps were 35 to 40 degrees below zero. The wind chills were 60 to 70 below zero. The hard alcohol was freezing. People couldn't keep beers from freezing. And this tournament, it was the Gull Lake Derby. No shelters allowed. So it was a 3-hour derby, a 3-hour tournament, and it was so freaking brutal. I didn't drink, the guy, my dad was fishing it, and a couple of my friends, and after about an hour, they're just wasted. They can't even fish. I've never seen, my dad was a big guy. My dad played football for Nebraska. He was a big jock. My dad was a badass, and he could drink anybody under the table. And, I have never seen him that drunk before. I had to pull my dad off the ice on a sled. It was so bad. And then, we're up in, like about a bunch of we're in Swedish land up there, and my dad always said that we're Vikings and we're Norwegian, and we're not. We're like from Europe. I'm sure we have more German in us, you know. But so he gets on the bus and he starts to start crap with all these people. He's like, all the Swedes in the back of the bus. You know, my dad's huge, and everyone's just like, who? And I'm like, oh my God, I don't know this guy. I am getting away from him. But no, so that tournament ranks number one for sure. Like that was freaking brutal. This tournament's nothing, man. That's like I fish in those conditions all the time in Nebraska. You know, springs here suck. I mean, you're fishing in 25, 28. I mean, all the time. So I mean, honestly, that's not even in my top 10. You know, but yeah, no, not even in the top 10. I mean, the weather sucked. I mean, it was shitty, but it didn't faze me. But I mean, I know for people in Texas and Oklahoma, man, it was brutal for them, and I feel for them because they don't know how to fish in that stuff. They don't. I mean, they might, but they're gonna get cold and it's gonna F with their head, you know. And it doesn't faze me. My friend and I, growing up in college, we would have competitions who could last the longest in the most brutal freaking conditions imaginable, and whoever opt out first was the pussy. You know, and as competitive as I am, I rarely lost. I mean, we'd be like, are you done? Say uncle, you know, and we wouldn't. And we're just like dumbasses frostbit, you know, and it's, you know, we're ice fishing. It's freaking like below zero, you know, but no, tournament fishing, no, probably not in my top 10, maybe 9, 8. You know, I'll give it that just because, you know, people say it was like the most brutal tournament they've ever fished in. So I'll give it a 5. How about that? It was the 5th worst in my career.
Okay, so since I wasn't there, I really don't know other than what people are telling me. How does it rank against Big Hill MKFS event?
About the same. Big Hill is actually colder. So Big Hill, I had to like bite the ice out of my guides on my rod because I was finesse fishing, and my little spinning rod, which I call my putter. You know, I mean, I've told this story 4 times now, so everybody knows about my putter, but none of my guys are freezing in Texas, you know, but Big Hill was freaking brutal, dude. That was cold, you know. It wasn't as wet. So basically day one at Palestine. Oh, it's Palestine, not Palestine, from what I've told. But yep. No, it wasn't that bad at Palestine. But it was wet, you know. It was brutal wind, white caps. You know, I was in the main lake, and it took some out of me, but it didn't kill me or anything. You know, I wasn't like ready to go in or anything. But I would say Big Hill was colder, but Palestine was wetter, if that makes sense. And when it's wetter, it's worse. You know, when you get wet, it's colder. It affects you more. But if it's super cold and dry, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, honestly, when it's below 20 to me, it all feels the same. So like if I fish below 20, you know, if it's under 20 degrees, it feels like it's the same as 10 below 0 to me. It doesn't. I don't really notice a difference. But you throw water, wet, cold, it makes a difference.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Well, I was wondering because CBG is he texted me afterwards, and he was just I don't think he caught a fish the whole time he was there, but you know, so it
wasn't easy. I mean, I got a couple reaction bites, but I literally had to like freaking like Jedi mind trick them. I mean, it was insane concentration. Like the guy that got second was telling the story, and his story is the exact same as mine, you know. Downsize, slow it down, watch your line. You didn't feel the fish bite, they'd move your line. And honestly, you have to pay so much attention because if you cast wrong, the wind's going to move your line. And, you know, you really laser focused, man. And I was so focused that tournament that, you know, it's just those conditions you just have. And if you're doing that style of fishing, those conditions, you just have to be so focused. There's no room for error.
Yeah. And I'm sure those bass, you know, they're obviously used to warmer weather, so it's, you know, even worse.
Oh yeah, but they were still shallow. So. I mean, they were still super shallow. I caught a few in like 2 foot of water. You know, it was weird. You know, you'd think logically you would think that cold weather pushes them out, but they're territorial there. They like a spot they'll stay. It doesn't matter how cold it is. They may lockjaw, they may not bite. It may be harder to coax them to bite, but they're still there, and they were super shallow. It was weird, man. I thought the same thing. I'm like, I'm gonna fish in like 10 to 12 foot of water. They're gonna be, you know, push out, but they weren't. I was just like, whoa, this is weird, but then you got to figure out how to catch them. And that was the hard part. I mean, every dock had fish on them. Every dock was loaded with fish, but you got to catch them, and you had to find the right thing to catch them. And I was lucky enough that I did, I just happened to stumble across the right everything, man. And it worked.
Yeah. So they weren't like in shallow places that were maybe warming up in the later parts of the day, or they were
there. They just like up in Kickapoo. I pre-fished that on Thursday. Water was warm. That was where I found the warmest water, but it was so dirty, and I caught a couple. It wasn't what I was looking for. I didn't like my style of fishing. I like to find a spot and pepper the shit out of it and just sit there all day and not move a whole lot. If I can cover as less water as possible on tournament day, I will. And if I find a good spot that I know I can catch fish, I'll stay there all day. I don't care. I do all my work pre-fishing. I mean, I'll put 20, 25 miles on the kayak in 2 days or more, just searching, looking for spots, I'll map study, and I'll know where I want to fish, where I think they are. And 9 out of 10 times they're there. You just got to catch them, but and sometimes you're waiting all day, sometimes I'll turn on at like 1 o'clock and fill a card in like an hour. But it's so hard, the mental game of tournament fishing, when that clock starts winding down and you don't have a fish, you start freaking out a little bit and your mind starts wandering. You can't let that happen. You got to just focus. You have to just tell yourself, I'm going to catch 5 fish. I mean, my goal always in tournaments is a fish an hour. So I start, you start whenever 7. I'm getting my 5 fish by whatever, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Boom, I'm done at noon. And then if you set that goal, 1 fish an hour, and all of a sudden it's noon and you only have 3. Okay, well, now I have 3 or 4 hours to catch 2, and it eases your mind, But when you have 2 hours,
I've never heard that.
When you have 2 hours to catch 5 fish, it starts effing in here. You start scrambling, you start second guessing, you want to move. That's when you really get tested. That's when your mind really gets tested. A lot of people spin out. A lot of people can't handle the pressure. And I've been there, done that. I've been skunked. I've been skunked a couple of times in tournaments, but I never give up, and I'll make my last cast to the last minute. I mean, I could fill a card in 5 minutes, and it's happened before when I've caught like 3 fish in the last 10 minutes, and fill a card. It's crazy. I mean, that tournament at Ouachita last year, I had 4 fish pretty early, man. And 6 hours goes by, I don't catch a fish, and I'm doing that thing. I can catch 1 fish in 5 hours. Oh, I can catch 1 fish in 4 hours, 3 hours, 2 hours, 1 hour. I'm like, I'm in my last hour. I need 1 more fish, dude. And I was literally down to the last 5 minutes. I made a cast. I caught a fish with literally 1 minute to go in the tournament, and that propelled me up to like 4th place. And I probably would have been in like, 16th or 17th place, and that's another thing I want to tell, the young kids starting out or seasoned veterans. They already know this, but never give up, and not just in fishing, but in life, never give up. Go get what you want, work hard for it. Never give up. Just fish till last minute. And of course, unless it's a safety reason, like I know some of the competitors this last tournament, it was brutal for someone who doesn't ever fish in those kind of conditions. And it was brutal for people that, aren't used to it. And if they're, getting hypothermia, you start shaking, get off the water, you're not giving up. You're being smart. There's a difference between quitting and being smart, when your safety comes first, man, because you start hypothermia, you get cold, your muscles shut down, and all of a sudden you can't get back. Your legs aren't working. And I mean, I've fallen in the ice. I'm a huge ice fisherman. I've fallen in 3 times, man. And I'm so lucky I've gotten out. I mean, like the second time I went through, it was kind of a struggle, and then you start panicking a little bit, and your mind starts wondering, like, oh shit, I'm gonna freaking die. And, and it sucks. But I got out. Okay. And, but no, that's scary. You don't mess around with hypothermia and cold, get off the water. But yeah,
definitely. Shout out to giving away for those that don't know. So you just, you donated $300 out of your your winnings for that day to a random person, basically?
Yeah, man. I don't know. I talk to myself a lot on the water, and I was just out there and I'm thinking, if I excuse me, if I win this money, I'm gonna pay some of it forward. I'm in a good place. I had a good year with my business. I've struggled my whole life. I have people in my life that would never let me starve, but they made me work for what I have, and I had a good year last year. I'm in a good place. I'm able to do these tournaments. I'm able to drive to these tournaments, stay where I want. No worries here, man. That stress of my life is gone. So I'm like, I've been there, done that. So I promised myself I'd pay some of it forward. And it's some of these young guys, it's a struggle with COVID. A lot of people are hurting. A lot of people have lost their job. What are we going to do if we don't have people at these tournaments that can't afford to go, and we can't fish, so I wanted to do something special for somebody, and no worries here. It wasn't that, I won a lot of money. That was a good chunk of money I won. That's going to help pay for a lot of my entry fees, and I'm going to buy a new frog rod maybe. And, and I don't really buy things that I want. I buy things I need, and I've been using the same frog rod. It's like it's an old Shimano rod. Oh God, it's so old. I don't even know what it's called. Like a Vortex. I got it in like 1985, and it's like a foot of it's broke off. So it's like a pool cue stick. It's just so stiff, but I love it, and I love just casting. It's just it's probably like a 6 foot, 4 foot rod, or 6 foot, 4 inch rod. But I just love it. But I want to upgrade. I want to get like a really good frog rod. But no, man, I don't know. I just felt compelled to do it, and it made someone's day. It really did. The person that got that money, they were really appreciative, and they really needed it. They were hurting, and they sacrificed a lot to fish these tournaments. And they go. See, that's the thing about me. I don't go. Yeah, it's nice to win money. That's my goal. You want to be in the top. You want to be in the money, top 10, but it's not a make or break me point for me, but some of these kids, it is. They go, if they don't win that money, man, they might not be able to fish the next tournament. That money keeps them going. That money buys their fishing stuff. That money buys their gas, and you don't win a tournament, man. It hurts, So I just paid some of it forward. I thought it was a cool gesture, and I knew someone would appreciate it.
Yeah. Heck yeah, man. No, I like that. And, I think the more of that positivity, that you put into it, it'll spread, it'll catch on. And it's just as infectious.
Kill it with kindness, man. That's what I tell people. There's so much negativity in the world, so many assholes, so many dicks out there, and it's just like, I just don't get involved with it. I don't get involved with the drama and all that stuff. And if someone's a dick to me or being disrespectful, I just smile and go, God bless, brother. I hope that your life turns out better for you in your future, because you're a dick. No, I don't say that, but no, you gotta kill with kindness, man. I've learned that. I wouldn't say I'm a lover, not a fighter, because I used to fight a lot when I was younger. But who doesn't when you're a kid? But I would say I'm a lover now. It feels good to give, and it makes you feel good, when you can give, when it doesn't matter. You can still give if you don't have money. You can still give if you don't win anything. There's lots of avenues out there to give. Go mow some old lady's yard. Go help a widow out. There's so many opportunities to give out there in the world that just go do it, and don't tell anybody you did it. Just go do something good. It'll make you feel really good. I swear it will make you feel really good. And, and that made me feel good, and it made everybody feel good. And it kind of was contagious. Maybe I started something. Maybe someone will donate some money out of the check they win, maybe down the line. Oh my God, look what Andy started, who knows? And, and it's just contagious, and that's what the world needs to turn into again. You know, just that last election and just all the negativity, man. I got called, you know, I'm a Republican, you know, I mean, I got shotguns behind me. You know, I was being called like a racist and Nazi and there was so much hate. I'm like, dude, you don't even know me. Let's sit down and have a discussion. No discussions. They were all arguments, you know. I'm a business owner, you know, I get ripped with taxes. I'm trying to explain to these people, you know, I live in a conservative state, you know, when there's a conservative in the, well, I don't want to get political on your show. Maybe I'll stop. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, we're talking about fishing. Let's talk about fishing. Anyways, yeah, be kind and don't be a dick.
There you go. Yeah. I'm not a very political person, honestly. I think the world would be a better place without two parties, you know, but
totally, man. But that's the problem. The independents just get squeezed out. They don't get any representation. It's all about money, man. It's just a bunch of freaking bullshit. But
I do agree that, by doing what you did, the people that saw it, you know, you're right. It made them feel good. The guy that received it, he's probably going to feel compelled at some point in his life, you know, to pay it forward, you know, and So yeah, no, I think that just being a good dude, you know, giving off those good vibes, like you know, sometimes that's all it takes.
It's all it takes, man. You lead by example, you know, less is more, you know, that's the thing too. You know, I'm an artist, so I learned that saying a long time ago, like less is more, you know, don't gild the lily. Just, you know, just less is more. Just be basic. You know, life's pretty simple if you really think about it, you know. You know, but yeah, no, it's all good. And, you know, and the thing is there's so many, like this the All American Kayak Series. Everyone's cool people. They're all freaking Midwestern guys. They're all, you know, we're all cool. I mean, the Midwest is cool people, man. I've done jobs in New York and Chicago, and then people just aren't cool. I mean, they don't even look at you in the eyes. They won't even say hi to you on the street. You know, it's weird. The Midwest has some really good people, and also the Midwest has some of the best anglers in the nation, if not the world. I mean, we're blessed to have the competition we have here. I mean, there's so many good anglers, not just in Nebraska, but in, you know, Kansas and Missouri and Texas. I mean, you know, Iowa, and I don't know, those guys aren't that good there, but I'm just kidding. I love you guys. I love all my Iowa guys, Tyler, Jordan, all you guys. You guys are all freaking awesome guys. I don't know if I will say I love you yet, but it's all good. I mean, I love all my Nebraska brothers, but you know, it's all good. Iowa. I mean, we're blessed to have the people we have and the caliber of anglers we have. You know, it makes everything better. It makes everybody better, and it makes this series a blast to fish.
Yeah, heck yeah. Did you fish it last year?
Yes, I did. Yep. Oh, I made a point as soon as Joshua Booth and Tyler announced this series. I'm like, it's the old MKFS. It's the exact same thing, basically. It's an amped up, super pumped up. It's way better, but it's the same feel. It's the same people. I'm fishing against the guys I fished with in 2015, 2016, 2017, you know, and then MKFS went away, and then, you know, this series started. I mean, that's me, you know, that I fit right into that, even though everybody uses freaking trolling motors, you know. God, no, I'm just kidding. But it's all good. I mean, they know I'm just I make fun of the trolling motor people, but it's all good. I do not care, and it's all good. Whatever floats your boat, go ahead and use them. I never will, but no, it's all fun and games with the trolling motor thing. But no, it's all good, man.
Hell yeah. I'm curious. I kind of have this idea for a new question, I guess, and I want to test it out on you. So, I want to know how much tackle you keep in your kayak with you. You know, you're going out
there. Just the legal amount. Anymore, I'd be over, like, what, 600 pounds is the weight limit? Yeah, I mean, probably about 650 pounds.
So what I want you to do, without getting you in trouble with your wife, or, you know, whatever.
She don't care. She knows she knows. I've been married to her for like 30 years. I mean, she don't care.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I want to know like monetary value. Like if your kayak sunk and you had to turn in an insurance claim on all your tackle, like what would it cost to replace just tackle, not rods, not reels,
Just
just
like, are you talking like all this dude? I have like a
in
tackle
your
shop in
kayak,
here. Like
in your
I have
kayak.
like $800 worth of FC Sniper Sunline there. Literally, I have
Yeah.
like 20 spools of it. I mean, oh, just in my kayak. Oh yeah, that's the
Yeah.
best shit, man.
Yeah. Just in
I
your
got that
kayak.
spool. It's the dude. That's the best stuff. So only in my kayak.
Yep.
Like how much money of and not including poles.
Yeah. Just baits,
Just plastics,
terminal
and hard
tackle.
baits.
Yep. Terminal
Oh
tackle.
boy. So
The
I
whole
would
nine.
say, oh shit, sorry. We
No,
lost
you're
Andy
good.
there. He's gotta like take a deep breath to figure this one out. Let me
Yeah, you
see.
might have to do some math on that.
No,
But
it'll be easy. So if you think about it, so in my Hobie crate, I can carry 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tackle boxes. I have 2 tackle boxes. One, it has about, you have the plano, I have the edge. One of my tackle boxes has probably about 75 3/8 to 1 ounce jigs. So 78 times 5. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, probably 30 a row, 3, 6, 90. 90 jigs in one box.
yeah,
$5. So that's 450 right there. Do you have a calculator or are you adding this up? Because I'm not going to be able to.
yeah.
It's past my
Let's
bedtime.
do
I'm
it.
not on my game.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so that's the first box. My second box is filled with my finesse jigs. And I probably have about 60 finesse jigs in there. And those are, a lot of them are the Jewel jigs. They're like freaking the AJ finesse jigs. Those are freaking a rarity. They're like $7. No, like $7 per 2. So probably another $300 in finesse jigs.
Okay.
My next box is my jerk baits. I got
Yeah.
a shit ton of jerk baits in there. Probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, probably like 40 jerk baits.
All mega bass.
$15. Like some of those 6 cents jerk baits, they're
Yeah.
$15 a piece. So 15 times 40. My next box is my square bills. Seriously, have probably like 40 square bills in there. Same thing, $6 a pop. So that's 200, another 250. Next box is deep cranks. Same thing, probably. No, I don't have as many deep cranks. I probably only have 1, 2, 3, 4, probably like 15 deep cranks, but they're expensive. Another probably $300 in deep cranks. Then I have 2 other boxes. How many boxes in that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got 2 more. So I have my spinner baits.
Yep.
I got a ton. I have a lot of inline spinners, a lot of the MEPs, tons of spinner baits, probably another couple $100. And then my last box is my mid and like 12 to
What'd you say on
8
spinner
foot
baits?
cranks. Spinner bait's probably $300 in there, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, that'd
And
be
then
easy to dig.
and then my mid cranks, 6 to 12 foot, same thing, like 40 of them in there, wiggle warts and all that shit. So they're in our 300. And then plastics, I carry 2 things of plastics. Probably my first thing of plastics, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Probably 14 or 15 bags, half trailers, half my secret weapon. $6 a bag times 40, another $250 in plastics in there. And my big box is just like shit I just throw that I never use, that just in case, like 10-inch worms, a lot of creature baits, probably 30 bags of shit in there at $6 a pop. So I mean, a couple grand maybe just in tackle. I don't know. Shit. I would never even thought about that.
What was the last one you said? How much in that last box?
Probably 30 bags of plastics, just random shit.
How much a pop you think?
Probably, I would say average $6, $7 a bag.
So yeah, we're at 3 G's right now. 2,900.
Easy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Walk in the park, man. And you know what's funny? I only use one freaking lure. No, but I'm loaded for bear.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what tournament, you can run into any different situation. I am totally prepared. I am loaded for bear. even in my business, I'm like, someone wants me to touch up, someone like jams a 2x4 through someone's wallpaper, you know, I got to go fix that and hand paint the wallpaper. Man, I do some crazy shit. I'll come in there with like the kitchen sink, man. These people are like, what are you doing? I come in there with like 100 tubes of paint and 40 little artist brushes. And like, I come in with these huge bins of stuff and just slam it down. And I'm fixing this hole like this big. And these people are looking at me like, and they're like, just let him do his work. Just leave him alone. Let him do his thing. You will never know what happened. And sure enough, you know, I probably use like one brush and raw umber, titanium white, and maybe black, you know. But you never know, you know. I don't like being that guy that always leaves the job site. You see those guys all the time. They come to a job like, oh, I forgot my putty knife, you know, and they're gone for an hour and they come back, oh, I forgot my this, and then, oh, it's lunchtime now, and they're at lunch and it's like, what have you done all day? Nothing, you know, and I've already logged in 4 hours, you know, and then they're getting paid. Yeah, I mean, don't get me started on that, you know.
So it's safe to say
people
that
take
you're not a minimalist.
Look behind me, dude. No, man. I'm overkill, Andy. Yeah, no, just believe me. Like, I have a friend that takes me fishing his pontoon boat, and he has like a 5-rod limit, and I'm like, dude, I don't even leave home without 12. Like, he's like, you got it. You can only bring 5. I'm like, dude, it's so hard for me. I literally am like when I pull up, I'm literally like, I take a deep breath. Okay, what do I not need? I can retie. I can have a couple rods and I can switch stuff and retie, but it's just like, it's so hard for me to like not have like 12 rods, you know. It's weird. And like tackle, I mean, I go to this lake and I have like, you know, a suitcase full of luggage, and it's like I only use like 1 or 2 things. It's the same thing, but you never know, man. I don't know what it is with me. I was a Weebelo, a Cub Scout, so I'm always prepared. You know, I don't ever want to not have what I need, you know, and that's why all this shit's behind me, because I bought like freaking everything in the world during COVID because I didn't think I was going to be able to get it. It got hard, dude. There were some things I couldn't find. I had to go to eBay, you know, and like you were telling me earlier when we were talking, like your business, you can't get hummingbird stuff. I mean, it's just, you know, I fear that. I worry, like, if I can't get what I need to fish, man, I don't know what I'd do. I'd probably freaking die. I don't know.
Yeah. Heck yeah, man. No, that was just kind of a fun one. You know, you wonder, you know, there's probably guys that have $200, $300 worth of tackle in their boat. So, you know, and, you know, there are days
it doesn't matter.
Yeah. There are days where they're going to outfish a guy with $3,000 worth of tackle.
Straight up. There's guys that'll outfish me with a Zepco and a freaking bobber and a fly on it, you know, or it doesn't matter, dude. It's right place, right time, right mindset. You know, I mean, it's I call it the dock effect. You know, when you like go to a lake and you busting your ass all day and you get skunked and you go back to the dock and there's this like 6-year-old kid on the dock with a bobber and a worm and he catches like a 10-pound bass. And he's like, what? I call it the dock effect. It doesn't matter, dude. Right place, right time, right mindset. Period.
Is that are those days where you get skunked? Like, is the elusiveness of, you know, the largemouth bass, like, is that part of the thrill?
Oh
yeah, is that
what
keeps you coming back?
It's all about the hunt, man. It's all about the pursuit, you know. Yeah, heck yeah. I mean, I don't know if that keeps me coming back. I mean, I'd keep coming back every day if I didn't catch fish. That's my life, dude. Fishing is who I am. Fishing is my life. If I didn't have fishing, like I said, I'd be dead for sure. I mean, fishing has saved my life. I've seen other lives being saved by fishing. I mean, it is who I am. It is what I am. It is me. I mean, totally, man. I mean, obviously my family comes before fishing, but fishing is right behind my family, you know, and luckily my whole family fishes, you know. My wife doesn't as much anymore, but we used to when we were younger. But no, dude, I mean, it doesn't matter. Like I said, I'd fish in a mud hole. Even if there was nothing in there, I'd still try to catch something, you know?
Yeah. Heck yeah. What is your favorite, like, if you had, I guess, you know, if you're building your own pond or whatever, like the ideal scenario, if you're at a tournament and your favorite type of cover or structure was, you know, what
Rock,
is that? Okay.
deep rock,
Deep.
humps. Yep.
How what is
Deep
deep
rock,
to
15
you?
foot.
Yeah.
I like fishing deep. I like fishing offshore. 15, 17, 15, 12. Love that 10 to 15 is like that's like my, I love it.
And what are you doing
I'll
in that?
pound
Yeah.
everything, jigs, jerk baits, crankbaits, finesse, drop shot. I mean, I just love offshore fishing. I know there's something about it, you know, it's, I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to explain. I love offshore fishing. I mean, I'll pound rocks. It depends on the time of the year, you know. I mean, summer, I like fishing deep stuff, but it all depends. I mean, if I'm going to a lake and I see rock, I'm pounding it, you know, because I love fishing the jig, you know, and where the crawdads live, they live on rocks. I mean, they also live in the grass. In early spring, they'll spawn, and all the crawdads will, you know, as soon as the water warms up, they'll come all out of their holes, out of the rocks. Most of them are living in rocks. Early spring, and when it warms up, they'll move into the weeds and they'll you know, do their thing in the grass, not in the rocks. So that's when weed lines are really good. Like after the hatch, like June, you know, you see all those little teeny crawdads and stuff. That's a really good time to throw a jig on weed lines, but can't go wrong with rocks, man. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Just I've always been drawn to rocks. I don't know.
Okay. Okay. No. That's good stuff. Yeah, okay. I can get with that. Yeah, and I just skipped over Dakota Payne. He did mention that at the Wachita event, he took a
Thanks,
picture of you with the
brother.
giant striper.
Yeah. Dude, I appreciate that so much. Yeah. Thanks, Dakota. Dude, you made a memory last forever, you know, and I've shown a lot of people that picture, and I really, really appreciate it, brother. That was awesome. So funny story. So I'm fishing this ledge, and I'm using a drop shot, and this freaking, I get zapped so hard. I'm like, this can't be a bass. I lay into this thing. I just bought this drop shot rod. It's my first fish on it. And this thing's freaking rip and drag, and it's pulling me around, and I'm like, shit, what is this? I have no idea. And I'm fighting this thing for like 5 minutes. And I see this dude like a ways away, you know. I'm thinking, I don't want to curse myself. I don't want to like yell to him, dude, get over here, help me take a picture of this, you know, because when you do that, you lose the fish. So I kind of waited the last minute. I had it, and he was kind of watching me do this thing. Like gave me a slade rip. It was like I don't know. It was like meant to happen. It was like someone intervened, because this fish literally gave me a sleigh ride closer and closer and closer to Dakota. And I've never met the kid before, and I freaking net. I didn't even have my net. I didn't have my net. I don't think I freaking. It was. I don't know. I got a 36-inch striper. I mean, it was probably 15 pounds. Freaking badass fish, you know, and then my personal best striper. And I'm just like, shit, you know, I don't have a GoPro. I don't have any of that stuff. You know, I'm not into that. But
Yeah.
I was like, dude, you got to do me the biggest favor. Will you mind taking a picture? He was so freaking nice to take time out of his pre-fishing, time out of his day to come over and take some, like a picture. Like I said, he gave me an everlasting memory, like proof of it. And dude, thank you from the bottom of my heart. That freaking rocks. I really appreciate it. That was freaking awesome.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and he's saying here that you gave him a gift card or something just because you were so appreciative
I
of it.
did. Yeah, I did, man. I went and bought him a freaking. He's a young kid. I don't even know if he was old enough to drink. I don't know. I said go buy a. I bought it. Yeah, I mean, you know, shit, dude. He gave me a memory of a lifetime. You know, I still have that picture. I still look at it. Still show people, and without that picture, you know, I mean, people believe me, but it's nice to have those memories. You know, when I'm dead, you know, I'm gonna have tons of pictures like my kids can share with their kids, and their kids, like, you know, my legacy will live forever through my pictures and stuff. And that, you know, no, it's funny, like doing this stuff, this interview is going to be here forever, you know, and like 100 years from now, like one of my great grandchildren can, like, you know, hey, you had a really cool great grandpa, dude. He was like freaking really good angler, and dude, watch this interview, maybe they'll learn something. Maybe they'll learn something from me that I can't teach them personally, like I did my kids. And hopefully someday my grandkids, I'm trying to get my son to freaking, but I'm not going to push him anymore. I've already put too much pressure on him, telling him that he's the last Moore. You have to have a boy to carry on the name. That wasn't cool of me to do that. I feel bad, but I feel really bad I did that, because it kind of affected him a little bit. And then it's all good. I mean, I got grand dogs. He's got the freaking best dog in the world, man. But no, I bought him a gift card. I pulled up to the weigh, and I'm like, dude, here's the gift card. He's like, what? I'm like, dude, you don't realize what you did for me. Here, go buy some beer. And I'm thinking, oh shit, he's not old enough to drink, but but maybe he is now. I don't know how old you are, Dakota, but I know you're probably old enough to be one of my kids. So dude, boom, I appreciate it.
Yeah, he said he bought tackle with the gift card. So
nice, yeah. Man. That's what it's for, brother. Nice.
He brought it back to Kansas and then whooped up on us in some tournaments.
Oh, he's from Kansas?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. No, you're good kid. Good kid, man. Yeah, I got good vibes from him.
He's been on the podcast before, actually.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Small world, isn't it, man? I mean, yeah.
He's won a couple
events.
That's awesome. He's won a couple events. He's down in the southeast part of the state with the Southeast Kansas kayak anglers, and cool. He's fishing with the big group this year. We combined all 4 clubs into one this year.
Oh, nice.
So that's cool. We're kind of doing a statewide, big mega series this year. So are you
the director?
Yeah. So all 4. So Josie, he runs Northeast Kansas Kayak Anglers.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Steve. He came up and actually fished one of our events. He fished Red Willow, I think, I haven't seen him in a long time. Yeah, no, I was like, dude, are you lost? And he's like, no, I have family. I guess he has a farm up in Nebraska or something. Yeah. So I was like, dude, what are you doing here? But no, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So all 4, club presidents are basically the tournament directors of this new deal. So
cool, man.
So yeah, just trying to make it better. I don't know.
Yeah,
hopefully it'll work
out. I don't know how. I mean, honestly, I kind of wish Nebraska we were all in one club. I mean, I mean, everybody has their reasons for doing what they do, but I mean, honestly, I wish we were all under one freaking flag. I mean, it's just kind of a bummer. I mean, it's kind of some animosity and shit, but I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, there's plenty of room for as many clubs as we want, but I mean, I wouldn't say it breaks my heart, but it kind of, being one of the. I mean, I've been doing this like almost the longest, not as long as Marty, but I mean, I've been doing this tournament stuff for a long time when we didn't even have a club, and
yeah.
I mean, in the perfect world, I wish Nebraska had one club, one solid club, one like solid foundation, and not all these little feeder clubs. But whatever. Hats off to I'm happy for everybody that's doing their own thing, man. And like I said, it's all good. It's your destiny. Do whatever you want. I don't care. There's plenty of room for everybody, and we all get along. It's all good. But it's just, I don't know, man. It kind of hurt a little bit, I guess, to be honest with you. Like, why can't we all have one club? Maybe someday we will. I don't know, but it's whatever. I don't want to get into it. I mean, I do have opinions and feelings about it, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to ignore what Moyak is doing, and just seeing the involvement, and that's it's kind of an inspiration for me being here right now, anyways. As well, just trying to get more people involved. So, joining into one club seemed like we had 4 clubs, and it was just because
that's a lot, man. That's diluted. Yeah. That's not good.
And it
man.
was. And so you had all these events, but you'd have an event every weekend, and then so you can't make them all. No. So you were really only catering to that one area. Like I was catering to Wichita, right. Josie was getting the Kansas City guys. Jacob was getting the guys down in the southeast part of the state, and Steve was getting the guys around, kind of in between Kansas City and Wichita and like Topeka and stuff. But it almost hurt, the attendance because you couldn't fish them all. So,
Mm-mm.
by
No.
taking all 4 clubs, and the individual clubs still exist, so they'll still have some local stuff they can be involved in.
Yeah.
But it's going to free up everybody's schedule now, whether or not
Right.
they want to, use that free time to pre-fish or go fish, the All American events, or go fish these, national events or whatever it is. But, the idea is just to have, everybody all under one umbrella, I guess. And
Yeah.
instead of targeting the smaller lakes, like we're kind of outgrowing the smaller lakes anyways, get all the big ones, all the ones that you want to cross off the list in the state. There's not many of them here in Kansas, but
Right.
the Wilsons, and the Big Hills and stuff like that, they'll
Right.
put up some good limits, and you can put, we found out you can put 70 boats on Big Hill.
Yeah. No, I'm looking forward to Wilson this year. I missed it last year. I was so bummed, but yeah, I mean, you're obviously you're stronger as one, you're weaker as many, but it's all good. Like, I don't want to get into it. I mean, I wish we could all like be one club, man. And maybe someday we will, maybe someday we won't. Maybe someday we'll have like 10 Nebraska clubs, whatever. I mean, and really dilute it to the point where it's just ridiculous, but whatever. It's all good. It's all good. I mean, I don't fault anybody for trying to do their own thing. I don't fault anybody for, doing things their way, whatever. Like I said, though, there's been some conflicts. There's some guys going, well, one of the sticks tournaments is on another club's tournament, another Nebraska club. Well, you got to pick. That's what we're faced with. Who are you going to fish with? I mean, obviously, I don't know. I'm a loyal guy. I've been with sticks. I'm gonna always be with the sticks. But
what were they called before? Was it Capital City or what was it?
It was just like yeah. No, they just fished Lincoln. Yeah, it was really nothing. We didn't have Nebraska. Really, never had a club till the sticks.
What really wasn't before? I thought there was something before.
I mean, Joshua Workman, Capital City something out of Lincoln, and it was just like a Thursday night thing. I mean, it wasn't anything really. I mean,
so there wasn't a club before the sticks?
Nope. Not that I'm aware of. No, we just fished tournaments. I mean, we did like Thursday Night League. We did Spooky Bass. We did like the MKFS. Kind of started it.
Ran kind of different events. Is what then you have like the Spooky Bass and stuff like that.
Excuse me. Yeah, Raph Vargas started the Spooky Bass, and then MKFS started. But what was that? It was an online. It was a multi-species, and it was a Midwest thing. That was us. There was no club. Not that I'm aware of. If someone can correct me, chime in, or I mean, Joshua Workman or Marty Hughes would know for sure. But I honestly think like the first legitimate Nebraska kayak club was the Nebraska Sticks. Okay. I think that, there was a lot of talk about it, that we needed a club, we needed representation because it was growing big time in Nebraska, but we just floated around and fished other states tournaments. We didn't really have a Nebraska circuit, and I'm glad we did, but now, now there's 3 clubs and maybe 4 in Nebraska. Now I don't know, but it's just it's too much, honestly.
Yeah, the Workmans and James Francis and a bunch of those guys, used to come down and fish the Air Capital Kayak Anglers events.
That's all we had.
I'm clear down in Wichita, so they were just like fishing whatever they could, basically, and
exactly.
Heck
no. It's cool where it's cool where it is now. We have so many excuse me, opportunities. We have so many. I mean, shit, if you really wanted to, you could fish every weekend. You got Bassmasters, you got Hobie, you got your local stuff, you got multiple local stuff. Literally I mean, dude, I fished a tournament in February. I mean, that's weird. That's weird to me. I mean, I'm ice fishing till, this year's ice sucked. I mean, we were done ice fishing anyways, but, I mean, I'm normally ice fishing all the way up to the end of February. Normally, I wouldn't even think about getting my open water stuff out till the end of February, March, and I was starting to prep in January open water. It was the weirdest thing for me because it's ice fishing is kind of like a religion to me. It's very spiritual to me. Like the very the very first day on the ice is like a religious experience for him. I'm not kidding you. It's like ice fishing is like, I don't know. It's so different to me. And like my last day on the ice, it's the same thing, man. It's like I don't cry, but it's like a ceremony. Honestly, I mean, I like wrap up, I'll roll up my tip ups really slow. I'll fold the flags down. I'll like put them in the box. I'm like, I'll see you in a few months, buddy. You know, my rod, same thing. I'll reel them up. I'll take the lure. I'll be like, see you again soon, buddy. Put it, you know, organize. I'll carry, it's literally like a funeral, dude.
Yeah.
I'll like carry my ice bucket down. I'll carry my ice bucket down here with all my rods. I'll set it on its pedestal and it sits there. It's sitting right over there. It'll sit there till, you know, safe ice. Well, there isn't any safe ice. If you have half a brain, you know that no ice is safe, but I call it fishable ice. So no, it's just, and it was weird this year because I'm like, it was weird. Oh, sorry. Oh shit. Oh, there we are. Oh, where are you? I lost you.
We can still see.
Oh, there we are.
There you go.
Like I said, it's past my bedtime. I'm getting tired. No, it was really weird switching gears like this, man. But I've never done that before. And I was ready though. You know, I was ready for open water. It's gonna be a long season. It's just, you know, I mean, it gets longer and longer every year. You know, last year the first tournament was in April. Now we got one in February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. I mean, it's crazy. And I'm a multi-species fisherman, you know, and it is harder and harder for me just to fish for bass that long. But I mean, I'll sneak in some crappie fishing. I'll maybe go to Colorado and cast the fairy wand for a few, you know, but yeah, that's all good. But I miss the other species, man. I love chasing crappie. I love chasing freaking trout. I love all fish. You know, I mean, I've fished everywhere, dude. I mean, I've been freaking Mexico. I've been to Alaska. I fished all over, man. And I love that pursuit and that adventure of different species, you know. But
pike has got to be high on the list, right?
What is
pike?
Oh yeah, honestly,
I mean, that was your special request for the thumbnail. You know, you wanted the pike.
That actually is a tiger muskie.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, no, that's a tiger muskie, but it does have a little pike in it. A tiger muskie is a hybrid between a pike and a muskellunge. Obviously,
okay.
My
bad.
No, it's all good, man. No, it's a beautiful fish, isn't it? Yeah. I caught that I just caught that in January 20th at Antero Reservoir in Colorado. Oh, nice. I went down there ice fishing with my son. We hit Antero. I had a good pattern going on the rainbows. I was using a little Salmo chubby darter with there's a lot of sucker in that lake, and I was kind of matching the hatch. It was a natural little lure. The water is like super freaking clear. You can like see to the bottom. You can see trout and shit swimming around. So I was using a really natural color Salmo with a little bit of orange on its belly just to pop, you know, and I was ripping it, pissing the trout off, and they're freaking, I was catching up, probably caught, I don't know, 3 or 4. I caught a really nice rainbow. It was probably like, I don't know, 3 or 4 pounder. And then the clouds rolled in, snow started flying. I wasn't getting any bites. They were coming up and looking, but I wasn't getting any bites. So I'm like, I'm going to change. I knew there were tiger muskie in here, but nobody catches them. I mean, I've talked to a few people and they're like, dude, you realize that you like might be the only one that's caught one of those through the ice? And I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool. But anyways, so I tied on a little gulp minnow with a little orange. I actually still have it on my rod, but little like a 1/8 ounce little orange head with a gulp minnow in smelt color. So very natural looking lure, but just that little, I need a little scent. I thought might get them, and then I still had that little bit of brightness to attract them. Sure enough, dude, I'm outside fishing, and my son's in his house. Him and his friends were in the house. You know, I'm in the mountains, dude. I'm not sitting in a house. I'm gonna be outside looking at the sky and the mountains and enjoying the scenery, man. And ice fishing in Colorado is freaking insane. I mean, the scenery itself is just like mind blowing. But
So I hook into this fish, and right away I knew it was freaking big, you know. And I yell, I go, big fish, and they all come running out. And literally, I can't even. I'm using like 3 pound fluoro, you know, light rod. I mean, I think it was my 32-inch T tuned up custom rod, and it freaking, we're fishing by some weed lines. It took my line, went right into the weed line, and it was done. You know, it was just stuck, and you're using a little 32-inch rod with 3 pound test, and you're fighting a 15-pound freaking tiger muskie. At the time, I didn't know it was a tiger muskie. I thought it was a big trout, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm holding it, and it's just stopped, and it's just like dead weight. It's like not moving. I'm like, we're done, you know? And I'm like, I start pulling it, and my son's like, what are you doing? You're going to break the line. I'm like, dude, I don't have a choice. I mean, what do you want to just stand here all day and just hold my pole? No, I'm done. You know, I'm going to, shit you not, it freed, it came out, it pulled some more drag. I fought it for maybe another minute, got it up to the hole. I look, and it's like 2 foot of ice, so you know there's like 24 inches of ice. And I look down, and the fish is looking up at me. It's like freaking huge eyeballs. Its head was so big, it was like as wide as the hole, and its lip got stuck, so it was wedged at the bottom of the hole, and its lower lip was stuck on the hole, and it's just stuck, and it's a monster. We're all freaking out. We're looking at this fish, my son's friends and him, we're all freaking out like, oh my God, you know. And I'm like, holy shit, I'm not gonna get this thing up, you know. And you know, you never do this ice fishing, but I had no choice. Well, I was gonna stick my arm down the hole, especially the tiger muskie, you know, dumbass, you get your hand will get severed. But I had to pull my line back to release it, but all the tension was going forward the whole fight. So as soon as you pull your line the other way, your lure is going to pop out of its mouth 9 out of 10 times. So I started doing that really slow. It didn't pop out. All of a sudden it came up. It came up through the hole. I grabbed it, and the rest is history.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
No, it was a rush, man. That's what I live for. I mean, shit like that. That was awesome.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. All right. So I know it's getting late. I'm getting sleepy too. So
getting late, man. It's way past my bedtime. Sleepy? Shit, you're a youngin'. You're only like 30, dude. What are you talking about? You skateboarding? You're probably gonna go skateboard after this interview. Don't mess with me. Yeah, man.
Okay, so one question. So this might help us with future podcasts here. If you had one question to ask, if you were the host of this show and you could have anybody of your choosing, your favorite angler, whatever, and you had one question only, what would you ask them?
Who's your hero?
Okay. And then who's yours?
Oh, back in the day, it was Muhammad Ali.
Okay.
And then my dad, but the Muhammad Ali thing, that was, dude, that he was my hero growing up. And when he fought Leon Spinks, I bet my dad my 50-cent piece. Muhammad Ali's not going to lose. He's never going to lose. And freaking Leon Spinks knocked him out. I don't remember what round, dude. My dad goes, give me that 50-cent piece. And I grabbed it. I cried. I ran to my room bawling because I didn't believe that my hero would ever lose. And my dad, it was a good lesson for me. You know, my dad's like, give me that. You made a bet and you lost. Pay up now. And I wouldn't. I don't know. He may have whipped me with the belt. I don't know. It's possible. It's possible. And the thing is, with my dad and his belt, he had a belt buckle like that big. It was literally like a 2-inch by 5-inch belt buckle. It had an American flag on it with an eagle on it. Second Amendment. You know, don't mess with me kind of guy. You know, and when you got the belt, you didn't move, because if you moved, that buckle would hit you, and getting hit by that buckle wasn't cool, man. That freaking hurt. But anyway, so he made me. I gave him the 50-cent piece, man, and I cried all night. I cried. I can't believe my hero let me down. But it was a good lesson, you know, because Muhammad Ali got back up and look, he fought again, and you know, but you know, obviously my dad's my hero too. You know, he taught me everything about the outdoors. He took me fishing when I was young. Without him, I don't know. My mom with that aquarium in the crib was the catalyst. But if I didn't have anybody taking me fishing, you know, I wouldn't I wouldn't be who I am today, man. He taught me so much in life, man. He was a freaking smartest man ever, best businessman ever, the most honest person ever, the hardest working man. He went broke like twice. We were eating like freaking Campbell's soup when I was like 2 or 3. We didn't have a pot to piss in. And my dad worked his ass off and created one of the most successful real estate companies in probably the Midwest, you know? So I learned a lot from my dad. I learned to, you know, never give up, work your ass up, don't be late, show up on time, firm handshake, all that stuff that makes a good man, you know? And so, I mean, he's my hero too, but like a hero that's not family would have been Muhammad Ali. What about you? Who's your hero?
Man, you know what? I don't know. I really don't know. I don't
Tony
even,
Hawk's?
no. I mean,
what are some other crazy skateboarders? I don't know. Who are some like really good skateboarders that like you look up to?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I really consider would really even look at people that way.
Yeah.
I don't
know. There's got to be somebody in your life that has impacted you like beyond that you could think, and somebody that's really helped you in life, or somebody you look up to, a mentor, or somebody that's taught you the things that made you the man you are.
I think that, of course, your parents, they're going to be the ones to, mold you. And I've learned,
and some people don't have parents though, some people don't have a father. Some people don't have a mother, so it can't always be that easy, easy route. There's got to be somebody other than family that's your hero, that's impacted you in your life. It could be Virgil Ward. Virgil Ward was another one of my heroes, like the first, Buck Perry, Virgil Ward, like watching fishing shows when I was like 7, 8 years old, the Virgil Ward show, man, he was like my freaking hero. And then Buck Perry with the spoonbills catching freaking 10-pound bass on ledges, when you're a little kid going, that may have been where my deep fishing fantasies came from, was Buck Perry. I don't know, but you got to have a hero, man. Think about it, and then send me a message in a couple days.
Okay.
And then you got to have one. Everybody, it can be yourself too. I mean, you can be your own hero. I mean, look at Spider-Man. Actually, Iron Man was Spider-Man's hero probably, but look at Iron Man. Who's his hero? Nobody, probably himself, because he has such a big ego.
So here's my thought on why I can't come up with a hero. I mean, I think that, certainly there are people that I've looked up to in sports, or, stuff like that, where I look up to them, and maybe I take something away from that. But I feel like, when I see other people making these great achievements, like Muhammad Ali, let's say he was my hero at one point. He wasn't, but let's just say he was. When I see Muhammad Ali, I just see, another man just like me, and so like I may be able to take something from what he's doing, but I don't look at him as being up here. You know what I mean? Like when I think of a hero, I think of somebody that, like, oh man, so I don't know. Maybe that's just a poor excuse for not having an answer for your question.
No, it's all good. I mean, like for me,
but I don't know, like, and I probably had different heroes growing up, because I've kind of gone through different phases, went through, really being into basketball, really being into skateboarding. This fishing thing is, fairly new to me. I mean, I really started fishing in 2013, probably.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, that's what made you start fishing? Like who took you fishing, or did you just like, I'm grabbing a pole and I'm gonna just try it, or what? What lured you to fishing?
Yeah, so I don't really know what it was. I did have a buddy that kind of ended up going with me, and he worked at the prison with me and is a good, friend of mine. And but before that, like I said, maybe a handful of memories. Like my dad had a pontoon boat, and we would pretty much go out and play on the lake. It wasn't really centered around fishing by any means.
Right.
But maybe only a handful of those type of memories. Went fishing with my grandpa. maybe a handful of times as a teenager, but I don't know really what it was. I honestly, I don't know, but I kind of started doing the catfishing from the bank thing, and soon found out that was not very fun. And I needed,
It can
I'm a
be.
little bit,
You're drinking up
but
beer.
exactly. And, I was just a little too scatterbrained to like, I got to be doing something, And
Right.
so I was like, all right. So I got into like these different lures and targeting bass,
Yep.
and then it's just kind of grown from there. But,
Yeah.
but yeah, so yeah, I mean, I have guys that, that I don't even know, that I, enjoy watching or, look up to, obviously, or, can learn things from, on Bassmaster Elite Series or MLF or whatever. But it's like, in my head, like I could certainly be one of those guys someday, like on their level,
Sure.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I mean, you can.
I guess I took it literally when, your parents told you could be anything you wanted to be. And
You can be.
yeah,
You can do whatever you want. I mean, that's the great thing about America. We're free. You can do whatever the frick you want. It's all out there. Work hard and go get it.
Yeah.
Seriously, there's no
have to think of
excuses.
that.
No excuses. Yeah, think about it, man. I mean,
I'll
there's
have to think of that.
There's got. Yeah.
I would say my dad would be a big one.
Yeah.
He taught me a lot of things and had a big impact on who I am today for sure. But
yeah, man.
I don't know. You stumped me on that one.
And always conduct your life like you're somebody's hero too, And that's you gotta think that way in life. Somebody's looking up to you, somebody respects you, somebody likes what you do, and somebody was really impacted by what you've done. Like Muhammad Ali was to me. He was a fierce fighter. He freaking was bigger than life at that time. He was it. And it just I don't know what happened. I just became really attached to him, and he was just like, I don't know. It was weird. He never lost. He was just like indestructible. But and then when your hero gets his ass kicked, it really affected me. But
I like this story though, where your dad made you pay up like that. I think
he did, man. 50-cent piece. It was my like coveted 50-cent piece that I got from my grandma, and I was the cocky little one. I think I don't know what year that was when we lost to Leon Spinks. I might have been 8, maybe 78. So I don't know, mid 70s. I can't remember. I mean, but yeah, man, I came up to him and I was like, I bet you this 50-cent piece that Muhammad Ali wins. And my dad's like, okay, I'll take Leon Spinks. I remember that dude had like a big gap between his teeth, and he was just, oh man, I'll never forget that day, man. I bawled my ass off and would not give him that freaking 50-cent piece. Poor sore loser.
Yep. Did you get a chance to teach your kids the same lesson?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we'd bet, but they pay up,
Yeah. Yep. Got to be a man of your word.
Got to be a man of your word, man. Firm handshake, and you have to be honest. You have to have integrity in life, or you ain't worth shit.
Yep. It's okay to admit when you're, you got to admit when you're wrong, but it's okay to be wrong.
Always,
everybody
always, except to your wife. You can't admit to her when you're wrong, right? I mean, we're always wrong anyway. So what does it matter for a right? You just, you just always have to be wrong. I don't want to be in the doghouse all the time. So just let her be right, and happy wife, happy life, right?
That's what they say.
It's true. No, it's not what they say. It's true, dude. You'll learn. How many years you've been married? Like 10?
2014.
2014.
So, yeah.
So 8 years.
About
yeah.
8 years.
Dude. Yeah. You haven't even reached the 10-year mark. Once you make it to 10 years, man, it gets better. I mean, I'm not saying it's not right now. I'm sure it's awesome, but it gets better. I mean, I've been married almost 30 years, and it's, yeah, it's anymore. It's just like, it doesn't matter. You're right. Whatever. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. Heck yeah, man. Yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming on tonight and hanging out, where it's dang near midnight. It seems like
I'm shocked I was able to do it. This is my 4th interview about this. And I literally was like, I almost forgot about it. I just like,
I have another interview, and I've already told this story so many times. And it's like, I'm starting to not even remember what happened. I'm like, I'm sure I can do it. John's a cool guy. I'll do it. I'm sure it'll be good. Maybe I made his show better. Maybe I didn't. People think I'm a weirdo. I don't know, but whatever.
I think the people like you. I think the general consensus is that people like you, and they'd probably love to see you win a couple more just so they could get some more podcast footage out of you.
I'd love to, man. I mean, I'd love to win some more, man. Let's keep this on a roll. And that's why you look at this. I haven't touched this, and my hair is getting like really long because Samson and Delilah. Samson cuts his hair, he loses all of his power.
A little superstitious, huh?
If I win this, when I win Kentucky Lake, no, I still can't cut my hair. So if I lose, there's kind of a silver lining, because then I can get back to like, my professional look, like clean this up a little bit, get my, the corporate haircut, because I go in these homes, and people are like, do you live in a freaking sewer or something, dude? So yeah, it'll be a good thing when I lose, because I get to cut my hair and I get to clean up, but it's also be really cool if I by the end of the year, I had a ponytail and people are like,
there you go.
Dude, what happened? I'm like, don't touch my mojo.
Heck yeah. Yeah. So, like bananas on the boat, or is that a no-go?
Never. Oh, no. No, I learned that from a good Alaskan guide. Funny story. I fished Alaska 2 or 3 times, and first year, we're sitting there, and my friend was with me, comes in, and, he's a total weekend warrior. He buys all the expensive clothes and all the like latest and greatest gear, and like fishes like once or twice a year, and I hope he's not listening. Oh no, he's asleep. He's on banker hours. He's
a total poser.
Asleep. Totally, man, total poser. Well, you see that a lot in the skateboard world, don't you? That's where that term came from, didn't it? Posers.
That's where.
But anyways, he comes in the boat with the banana, and the guide's like, "Get the effing banana off my boat now." And my friend's like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "You're either out of here or the banana, one or the other, or both." And he's like, "What?" And I'm like, "What's this thing?" So I had no idea about the banana thing, So it's so funny you say that, because I'm super superstitious, dude. And my wife, like a couple of times in tournaments, she forgets and packs a banana in my lunch, and I'm like, what is this? And she's like, oh, I forgot, don't bananas. So yeah, no bananas. Apples, yep, but no bananas.
Okay. No. I actually did accidentally bring a banana. It was an accident. It was a total accident. I knew about the whole banana thing. I got a banana at Quick Trip, and I do quite often, and I'll eat it on the way, but leave it in the truck.
That's fine. You can eat as many bananas as you want, as long as it's not on your vessel.
I accidentally left it in my sack. And then when it was like lunchtime before I figured it out, and I was skunked at that point.
Yep. It's so, I mean, it's only true if you believe it, as with anything, and I believe it, so I have to follow it.
I had no idea. So like, I knew I was skunked, obviously, but I had no idea that I had this banana. And then, so I don't know, the rest of the day was probably just, I was in my own head at that point. Like, oh no, I had this banana on my boat, so I'm screwed.
I'm done. Yep. My hands smell like banana. I can't do anything about it. Oh, that's funny, man.
I did.
Yeah, no, it is with anything, like any superstitious stuff. If you believe it, you have to follow it, I believe all that stuff. Like, I haven't changed my underwear since Palestine, whatever.
Whatever.
I told my wife that last night. She looked at me like she actually believed me, and she's like, are you freaking kidding me? I'm like, no, I haven't changed my underwear. You don't. And she's like, what? I'm like, yeah. So what? I'm not changing my freaking underwear till I lose.
She actually believed me. She's like, that sounds.
You did for a second. I'm just like, well, I mean, if you look at me, I mean, like right now I'm doing a job in this really nice house. I mean, it's like it's a mansion. The people are out of town. I mean, I'm so blessed and lucky, the clients I have in Omaha. I mean, they'll just give me their alarm code and their keys, and they're out of town, and I'm like in this freaking mansion house all alone. But I've worn the same pants like 3 days in a row and the same shirt. Who freaking cares? They're not there. It doesn't matter. I don't smell. I mean, I shower every day, but who cares? Yeah. Nobody's there. Yeah.
Heck yeah. All right, man. Well,
Cool,
I
man.
think we'll go ahead and sign off with that. Hopefully everybody doesn't think you're a stinky guy now, but
don't get too close to Andy. He smells pretty bad.
Yeah. Stay off the spot because he stinks over there.
Exactly. They smell that smell. They know to stay away.
All right, man. Well, hey, it was
cool,
nice
brother.
Chatting with you tonight, and look forward to seeing you. If not before Wilson, we'll see you there for sure.
Yeah, man, I'll be there for sure. Unless something, you never know in life, things pop up. But my plan is to hit everyone I can this year. So thanks, brother. Peace.
Heck yeah, man. Have a good one.
Yep. God bless.
Bye-bye. All right, guys. That was it. Andy Moore. Great time chatting with him tonight. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I know he has done a couple podcasts here recently, 3 or 4 of them, he said. So hopefully it wasn't all the same stuff. But, this is meant to highlight the angler. This is meant to highlight the events, grow the sport, and introduce you to the angler. This is Andy Moore. And, if you see him at a tournament, say hi. Obviously a friendly guy. And, maybe you learn something from him as well tonight. So appreciate you guys tuning in. If you haven't done it already, hit that subscribe button. We've got more coming just around the corner. I've got guests booked for the next 3 or 4 weeks. We've got some new guests coming. So I'm excited about that. Excited about growing this channel. I've had a lot of really good feedback on the channel here recently. Killing it on the watch hours. You guys are watching these videos, and I appreciate it. New people are learning about the channel. And in turn, new people are learning about kayak fishing, and new people are getting involved. So that's what it's all about. You guys are all a part of it as well. Thanks for contributing, sharing these videos with your friends and your groups on Facebook and whatnot. So appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and sign off and get to bed. You guys have a good one. See you on the next one.